Multifamily Mindset.
Podcast. Think bigger. All right, welcome to the Multifamily Mindset Podcast. I am Tyler Devereaux, and today we are here with Nancy and Abraham. Some people call him Andrew.
Yeah. Every once in a while, yeah.
On the weekends.
It's a good name.
I'll never forget it, bro. It actually made it more memorable.
Yeah?
So we did for those of you who don't know, which is pretty much all of you, we did a little mastermind meetup in Dallas. And I accidentally called Abraham Andrew.
All day.
All day. For sure, until I
Yeah.
called him out. Abraham didn't even want me to tell you. He's
No,
like,
I was
that's okay.
like, just.
That's okay. And I'm like, no, Abraham.
It was our first time meeting, like, actually getting to know Tyler. And I was like, just let him. He can go on whatever he wants.
I'm so glad you guys you finally told me, man.
So it's funny. Yeah.
So, man, I'm so pumped to have y'all on the podcast. Like, so pumped. These are the funnest for me.
Yeah.
So I'll let y'all introduce yourselves. They are students of the Multifamily Mindset. Have been in the program now for a little over a year.
That's correct. Yeah.
So introduce yourselves. What is your profession? What do you guys do? Before you ever met Multifamily Mindset, give me that background first.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyler. So Nancy and Abraham, we're both nurses. We've been nurses for about 11 years. For the past 5 years, we've been doing travel nursing. So we travel across the United States. Right now, we're actually in Indianapolis. So before Multifamily Mindset, we were already doing real estate, single family, small multifamily.
Yeah.
So we had a portfolio of 21 doors. And we were partnering with his brother and his mom as well. So that's how far we were able to get by ourselves with them. And then about a year ago, back in August of 2022, Abraham came across
I was scrolling,
on TikTok.
I'm a TikTok.
He loves TikTok, yes.
TikTok,
so he came across an advertisement for one of the free classes.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, let's go, So we went and Todd gave that class. I was like so amazed because his voice was like gone, but he had like all the enthusiasm, in the world. So he like totally sold me, right? And he was like, okay, so we have a 3-day class. Do you guys want to attend? I leave everything in God's hands for the most part, right? I obviously do my part, right? But I was like, if I'm off that weekend, we have to go, Abraham, right? We're going to go. So I checked my schedule and I was off.
And I just called off. I was like, I'm not coming in today yet.
Yeah, he's more wild than I am. I didn't want to call off, but he's like, oh, I'll call off. And I was like, okay. So we went and you gave that class in Walnut Creek. So it was amazing. Like the first hour that I was there, I was like, okay, yes, we're doing this, Abraham. And Abraham says that I'm the one that manages the money, right? So it was ultimately going to be up to me if we decided to move forward or not. And I had no doubt in my mind that we were
From the very beginning.
And
Tyler, just to lay a little bit of foundation there, like I was trying to get Nancy to we need to start buying bigger properties. I was already in that mindset to where, and everything that you hit on in your class as far as like everything is better, it gets easier, it's more manageable, the financing is better. Just there's cons, but there are more pros in my opinion. And I was already in that mindset, and I was just trying to get Nancy, and Nancy's like, no, we're barely handling 20. How are we going to handle 200?
Yeah,
I mean,
so I didn't know any better.
What is wrong with you? And then I was
actually,
like,
to begin, like I didn't even know about real estate until Abraham came into my life.
That's right.
So he was like,
say it again.
He was like, stop it. The first thing was like, here, you have to read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have no assets. I have pure liabilities. So that's when we started, like when we put our head down and work, we worked our butt off, like seriously. We were doing 2 contracts at a time. So every contract is 3 days. So we were working 6 days a week.
Jeez.
Right. The both of us, right? People, we were missing out on vacations, missing out on this. No, we were not missing out. We were just like planning, right? Because Abraham always like engraved something into me. The goal is 100 units. 100 units, that's our goal, right? We didn't know any better back then, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know how to get to more. We didn't know that we could get to more than 100 units, but that's what always motivated us, right? So
yeah.
I want to hone in on what you said there because I think it's so powerful. You said we weren't missing out on anything, we were planning.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. Because it is hard work. And when you're saying hard work, you're saying that this is your nursing job that you were working.
Our nursing job.
And you were doing two different contracts.
Yeah.
So you're grinding, both of you.
Both of us, 6 days a week. Yeah. And then COVID hit and it was like mandatory 6 days a week. But that didn't stop us ever.
And you were doing that because you wanted to build a real estate portfolio. So you were working, tell me if I'm wrong here, but you were working, earning, buying, rinse and repeat.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And with the missing piece was what you provided, what multifamily provided was how to do it. Because I was relying a lot on my brother's experience, and he is what he is, and his intelligence is what it is. And he's the one that got us started. He's the one that got the whole family started. We should do this, and we should do this. And we amassed 20 units and they were ours. They weren't financed. They weren't anything. They were ours, right?
Yeah,
and
we were buying everything cash.
Pretty much.
You were.
Yeah.
We were trying our very best to because my family grew up the David Ramsey route. We grew up teaching that in church, and and it's great, right? I mean, there's nothing
wrong with it.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So that is what we understood. I didn't know how to leverage. And I had no confidence in myself to where I'm going to put in X amount of money into this deal because I know this deal is a good deal. I didn't have that confidence until I needed to educate myself. And, you run into this, you get into this rut to where I'm never going to have time to learn. And I was like, you know what? Let's just, if you want it, you need to do it. And it wasn't the right time for us to step back or for me to call off or to do anything or to get into this business. It's never the right time.
Yeah.
You just, if you want it, you got to do it. And that's what I told Nancy. I was like, we need to do this. And I was like, I need to find a program that's going to convince my wife that, this is the direction that we should go. And it in the first 15, 20 minutes of your class, Nancy was like, I need to do this.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, let's
seriously.
do it.
I love that though. And I love it because you, so many times people are coming, I believe people are coming or looking at something and almost convincing themselves on why they shouldn't or why they can't or why, that side. But coming in really, is this open-minded, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because anytime I go teach a class, this is what I pray for, that people will have an open heart and an open mind to be able to receive the message and make the decision that's best for them, and enhance their belief on what's possible. That's what I pray for. And so I love it when I feel that people are really coming in and just listening and internalizing it and then making the decision that's best for them. Yeah. Because ultimately that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I told Nancy, I was like, look, they're gonna sell us on something. They're not doing this at, and we're from Texas, right? Yeah. So this was a Walnut Creek, event, right? So we're from Texas. We were working in California at the time, and completely out of the blue, and was able to see you on Instagram and on TikTok, and we just repeating what Nancy said, we kind of went and we took the chance, and I think everything happens. God puts things in place, right? And it just worked out perfectly. It
really did, yes.
It couldn't have been. There was no debating whether we were going to do it or not.
Yeah. So at that point, I was at a point in our life that I was like, okay, Abraham, we're working so hard. I'm kind of getting tired. Let's take some time off. Right. Yeah. So our assignment was going to finish at the end of August. August. And then the whole 3-day, everything happened then. Right. So we had all this money that we had there because we were going to take some time off. So this money we were going to invest it in ourselves. We were not going to put it in real estate. We were just going to take some time off, right? So I could rest and recover, recharge, and then go at it again, right? So we could continue growing our portfolio. And no, we used that money so we can join the mentorship program.
And grow.
Yeah, and keep
growing. What's interesting is in literally back-to-back sentences, you were like, man, it wasn't the right time for us to step back and do these things. And then right after that, it was everything worked out perfectly. It was the perfect time. Yeah. Isn't that funny? It's it's
great.
It's never the right time until we decide to make it the right time.
Until we make it the right time, for sure, yeah.
So let's talk about your journey, because 21 units, that's awesome.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
Dude, that's an awesome thing. It is.
It is. Yeah. Yes. But now I think so big, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
double-edged sword, bro.
I
Double-edged
do.
sword, because now it's like, no, Abraham. No, we need to.
So he was
what's the goal now?
He was the ambitious before, right? Like he would never stop. And now like I'm like the same way. I cannot stop, you know? The goal is we don't have a set number on units. We're looking more at the passive income and the cash flow.
Yep. Smart.
Right. So whenever we get there, and we want to have enough cash flow, enough passive income that we can just give all that back without having to worry about it.
Yeah. Give the money back, you're saying?
Yeah.
So live 90-10. Give 90 away, live on 10.
I love that.
That's pretty much is the goal.
The freaking reverso uno, man. Most people live on 90 and give away 10. Most people don't even give away 10.
And there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, that is our one of the main reasons why I enjoy this network is because you know it teaches, the more you give, the more you're going to receive. And you know it
and we've seen it and we've experienced it throughout our life, you know?
I believe that.
For sure.
Yeah. It's like, it sounds daunting for people. I would imagine when people think, man, giving away 90 and living off 10, but when you do that, that 10 will be bigger than your current 90.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And a lot of people tie it to money. It's not just about giving, because I mean, if you have the means, you know, you can write a check and it doesn't mean anything to you, to some people, right? But giving your time, giving yourself, you know, not having to do no quid pro quo. We're just doing it because you want to do it. And some people don't need money. Some people need something else. And you know, but you need to be in the right mind space and have the ability to do so, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're humans. We got to take care of our family, and our family comes first. And it's very hard to sacrifice family to help others. And that's why, you know, and unfortunately in this day and age, you need to be financially sound to be able to do that, in my opinion, right? So, you know, it's just, and I think multifamily is the best way to achieve that goal. Absolutely. So in a very long answer, that's our goal, 90-10.
I love it. That's a great goal, man. Yes. So let's talk about the journey. So you guys came to the class August 2022. Tell me about the journey from, you know, you guys decided to move forward with mentorship. It wasn't just an overnight thing, right?
No.
It was not, no. So
what did you do? How did you start?
We did go home after the assignment. We did go home for a little bit. We definitely did need some time to relax. And we just honed in on the whole program, you know, like doing the 4-week, the path, right?
The path. Oh my God.
I was like, Abraham, come on, we need to do this. Abraham, come on. Because, you know, he's not, you know, school is not his forte, I guess, right?
I'm the type to skip to the end of the book, read the last page. Okay, great. You know, got it.
And I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, no, we have to go step by step. That's how I work, right? I cannot just be all over the place. I think that's why we complement each other so well. So yeah, it's like we did the whole path, right? Exactly what you told us to do, we did, right? Write down our goals, you know, start working on your, start working on writing down
what you're grateful for in the mornings and the nights. Yeah.
Yes. No, but building your team, start, you know, making that relationship with the property managers, choose your, you know, your market as well. So we wanted to just stay home. So that was our market, you know, our own backyard. And
where's home again? Remind me. What part of Texas?
We're from Brownsville, Texas.
Okay, you are. Yeah.
Do you know where Brownsville is? Okay.
Absolutely.
You need to put some classes over there, please.
Yeah,
they're close. McAllen.
Very few people here would know where it's at.
I know, but I'll get you people to go for sure. But yeah, that's what we were doing, right? Just going through the whole path and coming up with a plan, you know, and making those relationships with the brokers, with the property management. And then we ended going up to peak, right, in February. Before peak, we were talking with all our nurse, former nurse, you know, friends, acquaintances, co-workers. We were talking with everybody about what we were doing. Yeah. So a lot of people know that we do real estate. So then we were just telling them, well, this is what we're doing, right? And this is a great way for nurses to come together and, get into real estate. It's difficult for a lot of nurses to get into real estate because they already have their family, right? They have small children, or they're working crazy hours the way that Abraham and I were working. So they don't have the time to go and do it by themselves. So what better way than to do it with other nurses, right? So we were just talking with everyone about what we were doing as well. We were going out to lunches, coffees, dinner dates, everything. So we got a lot of soft commitments as well, right? A lot of people that were interested in, that wanted to do this with us. Investing with us, yes.
Because they knew that we had the 20 units, and in retrospect, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a blessing to have them, because it's a huge blessing to have them. So, it's just, Nancy's like, well, it's just 20 units. And I'm like, yeah, it's just 20 units. But, we busted our asses for those 20 units. And so in our circle, they knew that, but I was never confident. They would come up to us, Tyler, and be like, I'll give you $50,000. Just show me how to do it, or can I partner? And I was never in a position to where I felt confident to be like, I'm not going to lose their money. Like, because I'm going to put $1,000 on black all day, every day. It's my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll do it. I'll double it till I get my money back, right? Yep. I don't have no risk tolerance whatsoever. But when it comes to other people's money, it was a whole different ballgame. So I never took that plunge. And
this was when you were working on your single family stuff.
Yeah. Because they saw, because passively we were doing well, right? Yeah. And but when we got into this, it was just a different. Now I felt confident to where I'm not going to do it myself. It's not just me.
So because you guys had never raised money before.
No, absolutely not.
Was it uncomfortable for you guys to start raising money?
No.
Okay, yeah, because it's just normal. You're just having conversations, telling people what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes. And we truly want to help other nurses, other healthcare professionals. I know how burnt out they are. I know exactly what we go through, those 12 hours that we're in the hospital, right? I know how short-staffed we are. I know how abusive patients can be sometimes. I know how unappreciated we can feel, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The pain, at a higher level, we know all the pain points. Yeah. Like I know I don't need to study the pain points. You know what I mean? Like we've lived them and we live them. We continue to live them.
We still live them every day.
Yeah. And
is one of them is one of those pain points that, like, wondering what the end game is, because you're making good money as you're traveling, you're doing that. But is that one of the pain points?
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Like what do you do after, like, when you're getting close to retirement? Like, your body can only withstand so much.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just.
So when you were starting to talk to people about it, your nurse friends, did they even know that they could passively invest in apartments? Or man, who's ready to think bigger? Listen, Peak Partnership is almost here. It's going to be here very fast, and you need to be there. Okay, you need to join us in Orlando, Florida, March 21st through 23rd, 2024, for the biggest and baddest real estate event that you've been to. Yeah, we're talking lots of networking, lots of inspiration, people like David Goggins, Jim Quick, Jamie Kern-Lima, your boy Tyler Devereaux, and a ton more than that. You're going to connect with multifamily professionals that will teach you and show you how to build generational wealth, transform your family legacy with multifamily real estate. And that's all happening at Peak Partnership 2024. It's the third time we're doing this event. And listen, this one will be the biggest one yet. And I will promise you this, you do not want to miss out. So go to peakpartnership.com, reserve your seat. You can click the link in the description to register as well. Can't wait to see you there. Just open their mind to it.
No. We didn't know that we could invest passively.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Right? We just knew, like, we work hard, we use our money, we go buy something cash, and then, we go work harder and we get more money, and then we didn't know. Yeah. We did not know.
And we were so, and one of the main, you touched on this when you took me aside that one day, and we talked about it, but you told me, there's nothing better than, if you have your own skin in the game, right? And that's why we were so successful in raising what we raised, because, I'm not gonna put my money. I'm not gonna ask you to put money where I'm not putting my money.
Yep. Yeah.
So we sold half of our portfolio. We sold 12, 13 units, and we used that money to start LPing and start doing what we were doing, because, it makes sense. The ROI is there. Everything is there. yeah, why not? I already know how to do this.
Yep.
So if God forbid something happens over here, I know I can do this again.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just one of those things to where, yeah, we already built this little foundation. I can do it again. I'm confident that, it's not. I mean, it's not hard, but I've done it. So let's take the plunge and just let's go all in over here, right?
Yeah.
And it was great. And we sold right when the market was where it needed to be. Now we have a 6-unit that, I love that 6-unit.
We're trying to sell.
We're trying to sell, but it's not gonna sell. So it's just one of those things too. But
hold it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer, yeah.
But it's okay. We just hold on to it for a little bit longer, right?
There we go.
There's no problem in that.
And I think that switch, what Nancy, because Nancy at the beginning is like, when you told us that day, go out and raise money that first day.
Yep.
I mean, to me, I already had 4 or 5 people. Hey, bro, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go, right? So we're good. Nancy's like, I have nobody.
At the 3-day class, I was like,
I have nobody.
My nursing friends don't do real estate.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing real estate before, right? I started doing real estate with you, Abraham, and I don't really talk about it. So not a lot of people know that I do. I'm so reserved. I keep everything to myself. So not a lot of people know. I'm like, I don't think, I'm going to have or know anybody that's going to be wanting to invest.
So did you make phone calls at lunch that day?
I did not. I'm going to be very honest. I did not. I ate. I was hungry. And
respect.
Yeah, seriously. I did not.
I told her, I was like, look, it's an opportunity that we're offering them.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said, what you taught. I was like, we're not raising money for you don't have to, real estate's not on trial.
Yep. That's right.
Like that's just one thing that I kept telling Nancy. I was like, you don't have to, it's an opportunity, right? And if you, and most of your friends know that we've been doing it, this is just another aspect that we're educating ourselves in, right?
Yeah.
And we're not claiming to be experts.
No,
right? We're not claiming to be experts. We're like, look, we have this team. We're working with these people, and it sounds amazing. We're gonna join into one of these deals eventually, and that it was a lot easier. It was not gonna say easier. It was very simple.
Yeah,
it was very simple because there's a lot of nurses that we don't understand. I mean, we don't understand when you're on this side of the line and you see what it can do. We don't understand why nurses don't, because I'm not going to sit here and say we don't make good money. We make good money. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but we make good money. And, and we've touched base on this. If you can't handle 100,000, you're not going to handle $1 million.
Yep.
You're not. Like if you cannot save 10% or 15% of your income when you're making 100,000, you're not going to save 10% or 15% when you're making $1 million. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. But I just go and I put myself in their shoes because I was in that situation, Tyler. Like before Abraham came into my life, I was in that situation. I didn't know anything. I didn't know any better. Yeah. So it's just a lack of education, right? So it's just a lack of talking to them and educating them and showing them and telling them and guiding them to the resources, right? To learn, read this book, exactly like he did with me. Read this book, read this other book, right?
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that are doing it. Learn from them, right? Yeah. So it's just a matter of that. And it takes a lot of time, but I have the time and I want to give my time. So it's completely fine with me. Because I hear a lot like, why are you wasting your time on nurses? Nurses are not going to invest. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a nurse. Abraham's a nurse. We invest.
Yeah.
Right?
How many physicians have told us, why are you even targeting them? Really? Like, why are you targeting nurses? They don't, my nurses have been here for 20, 30 years and they're gonna be here until they're 60, 65.
They're comfortable. Like you guys are the exception. You guys are the 1%, right? Because you guys are traveling and are investing and are actually doing it. Yeah. But like other nurses are not gonna do it. And I'm like, well, no, man, that's not true.
That hit Nancy hard.
Oh, I bet.
Like that hit Nancy hard. I was like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. He took the compliment. I'm the 1%, right? And I was like, no, nurses invest. Yes, they are going to invest, right? It's just a matter of education, like financial education, seriously, and believing in ourselves and changing our mindset.
That's
right, because that's what happened to me.
See, man, there's a quote that says you're most powerfully positioned to help or serve who you once were, or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact way to say it, but that's it. It's like when you were that person, you are that person, whatever. It's like, you become passionate for that person. And that's what makes the difference because you truly want to serve and help. That's amazing. I can tell you're passionate about it too. Like that's like, I can tell.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Like that's who you target. That's who you talk to. That's who you help. That's who you serve. When you can identify who you serve, it brings so much clarity, huh? Tons of clarity.
Yes.
So tell me about your first deal. So you guys went, to the event, moved forward. How long until you did your first deal? First apartment deal?
It was 6 months.
Okay.
6 months after we joined. It was the end of February, and it was after peak partnership. So
it was raining.
It was raining, Abraham. It was just, the power of networking, right? Of talking to people and making those relationships.
Yeah.
So
did you form some of those relationships at peak partnership, or did you have them before?
We formed them at peak partnership.
Okay.
Yes.
And then first deal. So form relationships at peak partnership. First deal. What, remind me again, how many units, what the details were?
Yes, so it's a portfolio of 156 doors. Okay. It's 96 doors in Lubbock, Texas, and 64 doors in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that detail.
Yeah.
Okay. So 64 in Louisville?
Uh-huh.
And how many in Lubbock?
96.
96. Okay. And what was the purchase price on that?
The purchase price was $11.1 million.
11.1. How much did you guys need to raise collectively as a team to take down that deal?
$5 million.
$5 million. And you mind if I ask how much you guys helped raise money for it, right?
Yes.
How much did you guys raise for that?
We raised $525,000.
Sweet. For your first raise?
In 1 week.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
In 1 week.
But it wasn't just 1 week, though, because you guys had already been building relationships and having conversations way before that.
Yes.
But you because you did that, you were able to
get. Mm-hmm.
And that's what they needed to help get it to close.
Correct.
Dude, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now you've done 2 deals, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the second deal. How soon or quick after did you do the second deal, and where's that at?
So the second deal happened 2 months after our first deal.
Okay.
And that is 63 units in Dallas, Texas.
Sweet.
Yeah.
63 in Dallas. Purchase price on that one?
Purchase price was $6.9 million.
Okay. And how much did you guys need to raise on that one?
We had to raise $3.1 million.
3.1.
Yes.
Sweet. And same partners or completely different partners?
Completely different partners.
And how did you know that for the second deal, how did you meet those partners?
Relationships we had built through networking. We had met these operators, these sponsors months before, and we had just been talking with them, joining Zoom meetings with them. It's just relationships, right?
Yeah, you're underplaying that so much because I would wake up in the morning and it's like, babe, what are you doing? It's like, well, I'm on a Zoom call. And it's
I was on Zoom calls all the time.
Every hour, every 2-3 hours, Nancy was on a Zoom call. And it was the only reason why we're on that Dallas deal was because of those just jumping on and just exposing yourself and being there. And I would have never, one Zoom call a week maybe kind of thing. And Nancy she went all in. And
who were these Zoom calls with? Like, and how did you find out about this? Give me the details.
So it's just networking calls that are scheduled by other operators, like different people in the industry. They have their networking calls like Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, like every day of the week, there's a networking call.
Yep.
So you can just meet someone new every day, pretty much. And I would just be there. I would just be there present. And then a lot of the times you start running into people that also come to all the meetings, right? So that's what happened. So this particular sponsor, she had seen me in one of the networking calls on a Tuesday, and then she saw me again on Wednesday, and then she saw me again on Thursday, right? So then we reached out, she reached out and we just start talking and we start, making more one-on-one connections. And then we just kept in touch.
Dude, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So smart too. Like people underplay that. People downplay that because it's so powerful. Like when we do, anytime I go on and I teach a Zoom call or I do a Zoom call and I see that there's people, some with cameras on, some with cameras off. Yeah. It's like, man, you're missing it. It's not the education. Education's great. Like that's great.
Yeah.
It's the relationships you make. Yes. And you can't make them with your camera off.
No.
Just
having
listening.
Seen that face is powerful.
Yeah.
And when people continue to see your face, that's marketing if you think about it. Like that's all marketing is. Like why do you post on social media? Why do you do so people see your face? Why do you get on these networking calls? People see your face. And there's so much that can be achieved from just that alone. Like being in the rooms, the right rooms, virtually or real life rooms. Right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you guys have faced on like the journey of getting those deals done, or just on the journey period? Like, what's the biggest challenges?
What is your challenge, Abraham?
I hate as much as I, not that I hate's a very strong word. I mean, it got to the point to where I was like, the first 6 months before the deal, right? Before our first deal, I was in the mindset to where, you know what? Because I'm used to buying things cash.
Yeah.
All right. And I was like, oh my God, look how much the bank is taking on these fees. And look how much this and look how much that. I was like, it's just why? You know, and why can't we just come together and just go buy something together? Why do we have to go jump through all these hoops that the bank is making us do? And I had that block. And it was until I hit peak where it's like, okay, you need to partner with other people to do this. If you want to do it this way, and if you want to do it like this, then you need to, you know, shut the fuck up and you know, kind of just trust the system. And that's exactly what we did, because I mean, you asked me how much we've raised so far, and we had raised a significant amount. And when you said that out loud is when people started coming to us and asking us like, well, we have this deal, we have this deal, we have this deal. And there was that moment. But the main thing, and I still struggle with it, having to work with other people, because
sure.
It's hard. It's hard for me to let go of control.
Yeah.
And it's my money as well, and it's our investors' money as well. And I'm putting pretty much, you know, I have a certain amount of control, but it's all of us that have it. So it's a challenge for me, extreme challenge for me to do that. Yeah.
That's honestly, I believe that's a continued challenge. Like, you'll have these people that you mesh with and that you work well with. And then I partner with a ton of people. I've partnered with lots of people, and I've partnered with great partners, and I've partnered with people that I will never partner with again.
Yeah.
Never. Like, and those were painful processes, but it's like you learn so much from those. And then but the beauty of that is I was able to partner with multiple people and then be like, okay, yep, we work well together. Oh, yep, and then you build and scale, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had our challenges in our journey. Absolutely right. So my biggest challenge is just making myself uncomfortable, Tyler. Like, seriously. I know that I could reach out to much more people, and I know that I can make a greater impact, but I'm still, I still have trouble with myself, and actually, I guess the imposter syndrome, right? So that's my biggest challenge for sure. Actually believing that we're doing it. We're actually doing it, right? And we're actually helping not just our investors, right? But the residents. God, we're making a difference in our properties. Like, we really are. Like, especially with our Louisville property, like, we've built like really close relationship with the residents there. Yeah. So I can see the impact that we've made. But I still struggle with that imposter syndrome.
Can we drill deeper into that?
Yes.
I think and then I'm gonna say something in a minute. But when you say, because you said something that like hit me. You said that we're really doing it. And can I like drill in on that? What do you mean by that? Like, is this real? Like, am I really doing it? Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, exactly like that. Like, are we really doing this, Abraham? Like, have we really, do we really own, this many doors? Like, did we really close on these 2 deals? We, really? Like,
I'm telling you, dude, people out there who haven't, that might seem silly, but I can relate to that more than I could even begin to tell you. And that is something that to this day, all the time, I'm like, it's almost like all the time, I'm like, oh man, like, I feel like almost like it's like somebody's eventually going to realize that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, because I don't. Yeah. It's like you're always figuring it out. What's crazy? Have you ever read a book? There's a book called The Gap and the Gain.
I have not, no. But I will add it to my list.
You will love this book. And what it talks about is huge. I just read it. And what it's talked about is measuring yourself against an ideal. So you have this ideal state, right? And it's like the horizon. You see it in the distance. That's what you're working towards. That's that direction. But you'll never get there because it's always just out of reach. That's like you could make so much progress, but you'll never hit the horizon because the horizon will always be just out in front of you. You know?
Yes.
That's where most of us, especially high achievers, measure ourselves against. We measure ourselves against this ideal, which means we're always living in the gap. We always don't quite feel like we've done anything.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't, we even have these achievements, but it like doesn't even like resonate.
Mm-mm.
What he talks about is measuring yourself against the gain. So where you started from, instead of this ideal state that we believe that we should be at. And it is, and then you're always living in the gain. And I'll tell you, for me, I read it in a very important, I just read it, and it was a very important time for me to read it. It made me cry multiple times because I'm very much that way. I very much measure myself against an ideal, which means I don't celebrate wins very much. And I'll celebrate these small wins, but the big wins, it's like, I never celebrate them. The smallest wins, I'll celebrate. Never these big ones. They're so important to celebrate and recognize and give yourself credit for, and then continually look back and reflect where we started, right? So I can relate to that more than I can even begin to tell you, but it's because you're a high achiever. It's not because you haven't achieved, it's because you're a high achiever and you measure yourself against an ideal state, right?
Yeah. I can see that now.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
So when you, is that what keeps you, like, you say you're, getting out of your comfort zone? Is that what keeps you from getting out of your comfort zone? Is that feeling of like, am I that person?
Yes, for sure.
So I think so many people battle that though. So like, what has helped you with that?
So I do a lot of affirmations, Tyler. Like, I have to in the morning, first thing in the morning, I have to do a lot of affirmations. Sometimes I do them just out loud. Sometimes I do them, in the mirror, look at myself and do those affirmations. So that has really helped me a lot. I've been doing it for the whole year, pretty much since January. There was a point in December that I had a huge meltdown. And I was like, okay, no, I need to do better for myself, right? And I have to start with my mental health and my self-esteem and, just me. Yeah. Right? If I'm going to be able to help other people, I have to be able to help myself first as well. So meditation and affirmations. And I've been reading, and reading is not my forte. I don't like to read. I fall asleep. It makes me very sleepy. But I've been getting very, very good at it.
Awesome. Dude, I love that. That's like it's owning your outcome.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's taking control, taking something that is, a perceived weakness or something that you're struggling with and just owning it, like taking it and moving forward. That's power. You said you started in when? First of the year?
Yeah, January.
That's awesome. So your process with that, is there anything else? You have affirmations, meditations. Is there anything else that you weave in to help you with that side?
My goals, for sure. Keeping my goals, writing down my goals and keeping them in mind as well.
How does that help you? Like, how does that help you with your imposter syndrome, whatever? Like you said, like, how does writing your goals down, how does that help you with that?
It helps me get some confidence in myself. It really does. Because if I can see it, I can achieve it, right? If I can see it in my mind, I can make it happen for sure.
So good, man. What I love about that, I can relate to this on so many levels, and I know that a lot of people don't think, sometimes I feel like people don't, they just see me as who I am. They see me as like this person that they've made up in their mind. But man, I deal with these things or battle with these things so much. And what helps me a ton are literally the exact same things that you've just mentioned. And writing down my goals and seeing my goals, it brings this awareness to it. Because if I don't do that, then it's just abstract. And then abstract makes me very uncomfortable, like very nervous or just, I don't know,
for
doubtful.
Sure. Yeah. The one day that I don't write my goals is like, okay, what am I doing with my day today? Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, for sure.
Brings a lot of certainty and clarity.
Yes, it does.
Do you do the same things, Abraham?
See, I struggle so much with that, with the, that's what I really enjoyed about when we got that package in the mail. It wasn't just a package. It was a book for us to read, and it was this, and there was a lot of thought that went into it, like specific thought. Like it was scalpel, right? Like in other words, you need to read this because of this, and there was purpose for it, right? And writing. I mean, Writing, I mean, I
told you we're like complete opposites. We're
I'm sorry, I cuss, but it's just well, it's like I write the same things down every single day.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm thankful. You need to go deeper.
I'm thankful.
Than that.
I'm thankful for what are you grateful for today? And it's just it really is for the 30 days that I did it every single day. It was the same thing. It was the same thing. Yeah, it was my wife. It was my wife. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful that I have the ability and the health to do what we do, and I'm thankful that my family's in good health. And what are you gonna do today? And that that did help me. As far as like, again, you go to the gym and you go to and checking it off at the end of the day was I did that, right? Yeah. But I struggle doing it every day and every night because I'm grateful for that. I don't have to write it down. I know what I'm grateful for, and I motivation and guidance. I didn't struggle.
So we grew up very different, right? Yeah. Like complete different, like opposites. So that's why we're so different, right? So Abraham has always had it like in his mind. He always has had his goals. He knows what his goals are. Not that I'm not grateful. I'm grateful for everything in my life, right? The good and the bad, because it's gotten me here, right? But he's just rainbows and unicorns and sunshine. So positive thoughts, all the good stuff. Like there's nothing bad ever, right?
Cool, very cool, calm, collected, even keeled. I definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, so that's him, right? So that's what he feels that, or he doesn't, the writing, what he's thankful for and his goal is like, it doesn't come to him naturally, right?
You need to go deeper. And I'm like, well, do you want me to like use better words? Or what do you mean deeper? I don't know how else to say I'm thankful for my family.
I don't know.
I'm thankful.
I can go like so deep, like think of this, I can just break it down.
You know what's funny? You are me and you are my wife.
Really?
I'm just telling you. That's Brit. That's Brit. Brit is just, she doesn't do those things. She doesn't, but she is freaking locked in. I have to do those things to stay locked in, to help me. I just do. And so either way, like there's so many different ways to go about it. Yeah. The key is to figure out what way works for you and then just keep pushing that needle,
Mm-hmm. And we have the same end goal. Yeah. Right. So we're going to get
each other on that end goal. That is apparent. Sure.
Yeah, Ferrari.
That is something you guys are very blessed to have, is a strong relationship that's just like, it's transparent. It's so apparent. Sorry, anywhere. Whether I see you in person, whether I see you posting on social media, your relationship is powerful. So.
And speaking on something very personal that I got from you, particularly Tyler, as far as the way you speak about your wife, and I don't think anybody's ever mentioned it, or I've never seen anybody mention it, but the way you speak about your wife speaks volumes on who you are and the kind of person you because there's a person that you are outside those closed doors, right? Yeah. And there's a person you are with your family, and I'm pretty sure we haven't really seen the real Tyler, you know what I mean? Because
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge and you say it out loud how much you love your wife and how much she's bring to the table and what she brings to the table, and you wouldn't be the man you are without her, right? And same thing. Like I have no like it doesn't embarrass me to talk about Nancy saying that there's absolutely no way I would be here if she wasn't with me, right? And how grateful I am to have her, and it's just I hold her up in the same regards you hold Britt, because. That spoke volumes to me, like volumes to me. Like this is the kind of person that I would want to work with, right? Like it's just, money's great, $1,000 is great, but the fact of the matter is that spoke volumes to me when we were in your class, right? And it wasn't scripted, it wasn't anything. It just came naturally to you, and we just. No one's ever told you that. I need you to hear it because it speaks volumes. Yeah.
I appreciate that so much, man. A ton. And thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's
important
absolutely.
To me for sure. Because I just wouldn't be. And she's so supportive. In fact, I was getting my beard trimmed today, and I was talking to the guy about my wife. I was like, man, my wife's so supportive because I've been having to travel to Orlando more and more. And, dude, running businesses is just, there's challenges, but Britt is, and so I'm literally telling him, the guy, my barber, that thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because, people ask me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I really don't do much, bro. Like I don't do much. Like there's one thing that I do very well. And I when I set a goal, I put my head down and let's do it. And I close everything else off. But, Nancy's the one that got, the only reason why we're on the second deal is because of Nancy, hands down. The only reason why we're on social media is because of Nancy. So, I don't. Yeah, I just don't. I wouldn't be here. Like we wouldn't be here.
I love it.
Yeah.
Powerful, man. That's something to be grateful for every day. That's something that,
it's very simple. I'm grateful for my wife.
Yeah,
I don't have to go any deeper.
So, hey, how can people get a hold of you? I want to make sure. How can people get a hold of you? What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
I would say reach out to me because Abraham is not great on social media. So reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Nancy_MFRN capital.
Sweet.
Or Facebook, Nancy Reyna, Reyna.
Sweet. We'll put your links in. We'll put the links in the description too. So if you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, we'll put their contact links in the description. And you should get a hold of them. And especially if you're in any sort of the medical field, wanting to put money to work, uniquely qualified to help you with that.
Absolutely.
So reach out to them for sure. As we wrap it up, as we wrap this one up, by the way, when we started this, Nancy said that she was nervous.
I was super nervous. I was going to forget how to speak English.
Dude, crushed. Like, I haven't felt that the whole time. Not once the whole time. Y'all are just a joy to chat with, man, and have from the beginning. And I want to point something out because you guys have been all in from the beginning. Like, we did your class in August, and a month or something later, you guys are, or you moved to Brownsville.
Yes, Brownsville.
Yeah.
And then drove all the way into Dallas. And like, you're just committed to the process. Peak, on the networking call. It's powerful. I've noticed it from the very beginning. Even front row students.
Yeah. Even front row students, yeah.
So if you were to say that there was a separator for you, or either a separator for you that has been a separator for you in the business, or advice, which can go hand in hand, advice for anybody listening to this, what would that be?
My advice would be believe in yourself and don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Like, seriously, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Don't give up. You'll get there.
I love that a ton.
I there's nothing to add to that, because any successful person has failed. And that person hasn't failed. If that person has not failed, he or she is lying.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just
they haven't been doing it long enough.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I had a marketing meeting yesterday. Here's why I love this advice so much, because I had this marketing meeting yesterday, and we're talking about hooks and how we can like engage people, right? They're like, well, what are people worried about, man? Like, we want them to trust you. So if you were to say that you would want them to trust you, their business, the company, what would you say? This is what they're asking me. What would you say that is? And I was like, I want them to trust them. Like, that's what I want. I want them to believe in them. Like, believing in me won't get them very far. Believing in the company won't get them very far. Like, they need to believe in them.
Yes.
Because no matter what, I could teach systems, processes, business strategies.
You can hand everything in a silver platter for anyone, but if you don't believe in yourself, you won't take action, you won't have the results.
That's exactly it. And they may take a little action, but it takes more than a little action. It takes consistent action to truly get the result. And so you have to believe in yourself through that process. So I love that advice so much. I love that. Y'all, thank you so much. Like, I've loved this, man. And I know that so much value is there. So I'll say this, all of y'all who are listening, yes, to go follow, connect, but also go share, because I know you found value here. Go share, go leave a review, go give them a shout out, go show them some love. And I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Tyler.
We
appreciate you.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
No, love that. Thank you. Everybody out there, rate, share, review like always, and live always with aloha. Peace. Multifamily Mindset podcast. Think bigger.